friends, and a big welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're diving into the top 4 essential tips for making your move to Hill Air Force Base as smooth as possible. Whether you're military personnel, a family member, or just curious about life on base, these insights are just what you need.
So if you're gearing up for the big move or love gathering knowledge about military base living, you're in the right place. Stick around because these tips are going to make your transition not only easier, but hopefully more stress-free.
If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living, eating, sleeping, working, and playing in Northern Utah, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Northern Utah.
We are Sloane Kim Petersen with the Petersen Group, and we've been in the real estate business for 10 years, and every day we have people just like you looking to buy, sell, invest, and relocate here in Northern Utah. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our information is in that description below so we can help you make that smooth transition to Northern Utah. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so diving right in, if you are set to PCS to Hill Air Force Base, then the first tip I have is to be considerate of the weather. Now that goes for everyone moving here to Utah, but oftentimes in the military, you don't get to pick when you move. You're kind of told when you'll be moving. So just keep in mind that if it's during the winter and we have heavy snowfall, you'll want to make sure your car is equipped. So if you don't have four-wheel drive, you'll minimally need to have all-wheel drive to be able to commute here. Snow tires would also be helpful. And if you are PCSing in the middle of summer, temperatures can get boiling hot. So make sure you start early in the morning or maybe plan to get here later in the day and have plenty of water. It's a good idea to have a case of water in your vehicle just in case. So just keep in mind, we have very strong swings in weather here in Utah and plan accordingly, at least as much as possible.
The second tip is to try to figure out prior to moving whether you're going to want to rent, buy, or just simply live on base. If you are looking to rent or buy, we do help people relocating all the time from out of state, rent or purchase by setting up walkthroughs within apartments and rentals, and we're going to send you a video of the home in the area that you might be interested in purchasing. So you're basically going to be able to see everything just like you were here in person. In fact, a lot of the process can be done via video or Zoom meetings, which is the great thing about technology. It would be helpful to know what your BAH is prior to moving here so we can help you with a budget that feels comfortable and so you can really transition smoothly from one state to another. Another thing to consider is every real estate market is different, and that's not just by state, but also we have things in Utah like seasonality that might affect how fast homes are selling, depending on when you're moving, so it's definitely a good idea to get started sooner rather than later. We're also going to do a video soon on the pros and cons of renting versus buying when you're relocating from another state, as we've had a lot of people interested in that topic.
Another tip when you're PCSing is to go through all of your stuff. Now again, this can be good for anybody relocating, but it's even more important for our military families because of how often you move. Besides the annoying task of moving things you don't really need or even want, chances are if you haven't used them since the last time you PCSed, you aren't going to now. My dad was in the Air Force and he met my mom when he was stationed in Korea. And this last PCS, when he was stationed here in Utah, he had boxes that he and my mom had moved through each PCS since Korea without ever even opening them. And he'd had at least 4 PCSs since then. They just moved them from garage to garage, and finally when my parents just moved in the last couple of years, when my dad was set to retire, we went through every single box and got rid of most of it, I would say. My parents had just been moving the boxes with them with the thought that they might need something in it. So even though it feels like overkill, especially if you're moving every couple of years, still go through everything each time and get rid of what you don't need.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the final tip, and one that we kind of already touched on, is to find out what your BAH allowance is. If you do want to purchase, we have a great local lender that we can connect you with, and she does do VA financing as well as any other loan type that you might need. She's going to know how to best help you utilize that BAH allowance. And again, it's never really too early to start planning. So if you are PCSing here to Hill Air Force Base sometime this year, then for sure reach out to us and we can help you figure out what your budget is and then what's going to work best for you. Whether that's renting, purchasing, or even living on base. All right, guys, so that wraps up our 4 tips that we have for our military families PCSing here to Utah. We have helped so many military families move here from across the country, and we would love to help you make that smooth transition here to Northern Utah.
If you're looking to PCS to the Northern Utah area, we'd love to help you out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and until next time, we're keeping it real. Estate.